He's Booger McFarland. He's NFL and college football analyst. You can see him on Prime Time with Chris Berman on ESPN Plus. Right after the Super Bowl, he'll be on the field with Chris Berman, Alex Smith, and they'll be live from the Superdome. Full reaction and breakdown of Super Bowl 59 as we make way for our good buddy Booger McFarland, who's joining us on the program. All right.
Finally.
Let's do it.
Yes, on a Friday. What's up, baby?
Friday. I don't know if the food is going to be ready for you, though, Booger.
Oh, it's all good.
The grills are fired up.
I can't wait.
You're looking lean, though.
You know what? I've learned as I've gotten older, buy bigger clothes, it makes you look slimmer. That's what I've learned, so.
What was the highest playing weight you had?
Playing weight, I got probably 310, but after I got done, I'll never forget it. It was an Easter. I was with the family, and we were at the country club. And, you know, it's hot, brunch, the whole nine. I had to go use the restroom. So I go to the bathroom, and I just happened to look up at myself. And my jaws were hanging down. I was 335, and that's when I knew something had to change. And so, again, I just, started working a little better, ate a little smarter, and I lost about 50, and here we are.
Biggest guy you ever faced?
Biggest guy, probably Kevin Gogan.
He was like 6'7", wasn't he?
6'7", 350. He was also the dirtiest, the nastiest. Kevin Gogan spit on guys, a bunch of stuff, but he was huge.
Did you spit back?
No, unfortunately, years later, I probably wish I would have. But during the time, that's just something you don't do. Like, that's a no-no among players. We don't do that. Now, we grab a few things underneath the pile. But as far as actually...
Okay, what leads you to grab somebody's genitals?
Well, first, I didn't say genitals. You said that. I said a few things.
Okay, what are the few things then?
Maybe the genitals. You never know. If there's a big pile and we're trying to get the ball and there are guys talking and guys, saying some things you shouldn't say, every now and then you think you're reaching for a ball and maybe you grab...
Two.
Yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Larry Allen, did you face him?
Yeah. Bad man. Yeah, he's a bad man. I'll never forget. So Larry Allen and the Cowboys come to Tampa. And, Larry Allen, we knew he was a Hall of Fame player. Obviously, Warren Sapp, Hall of Fame player. And so the build-up during the week was, here we go. Well, the first play of the game, based on the formation, they broke the huddle. And Larry breaks the huddle, and he's got, I guess it was snuff or chewing tobacco, and it's kind of running down his lip. And I'm like, geez. And the way the formation set, I slid and went against Larry Allen. I immediately looked at Brooks. I said, hey, you need to check this. They didn't come to see me against Larry. Put Sapp over here. I went to the other side. Because that's what everybody wanted to see, and quite frankly, I wanted to see it also.
How did it play out?
Well, it was good on good all day long. Now, Larry is the strongest human being I've ever faced. Unreal. And, he left this earth far too soon. An athletic freak. Unreal, because he was 6'3", 330. He could run 4'7". He made all pro at 4 positions, something like that. He was unreal. Everyone except center. Unreal.
Yeah, but you get those guys. They talked about Larry Allen flu, that you didn't want to play against Larry Allen because he was going to embarrass you.
I didn't have the Larry Allen flu. I was just smart enough to know, hey, you go over here, I'm going to the other side. And by the way, on the other side, it was Eric Williams, and I forget who the guard was. He was 340. I mean, it was an unreal offensive line they had.
Where does that you look at the Eagles' offensive line.
Yeah.
Where does that rank? Let's say if we had Kelsey back on there.
So the Eagles' offensive line, I think, is the best offensive line in football. And it's no disrespect to Detroit because I think theirs is good.
And even losing a Hall of Famer in Jason Kelsey.
Correct. And I think if Kelsey were to be honest, he would tell you what he was losing in athleticism, he made up in craftiness and experience. And Juergens, I think, is more athletic. Now, he doesn't have the experience that Kelsey had. But, man, when you look at it, I mean, Lane Johnson is probably going to be a Hall of Famer. Former quarterback turned offensive lineman. It shows you how athletic he is. The right guard, Mekhi Becton, everybody gave up on him. The Jets said he couldn't play. The big ticket. Jeff Stoutland, the offensive line coach for Philly, said, you know what, I'll make you a guard. And he's had a career resurgence. Cam Juergens, young, athletic. Landon Dickerson. People remember him because he tore his ACL at Alabama, and Nick Saban put him back in the game in the national championship game to take one more snap. That guy's now left guard. And then the left tackle, Jordan Mailata, is from, Australia? 6'8", 350 pounds, and maybe the best athlete of them all. So they are athletic, they are big, and I think it's their size because even if they miss a block, even if Mekhi Becton misses a block, he's 6'7", 350. You got to go around him to miss the block. And I think that's where they become just this unstoppable force. And then you put the best running back in football behind them. Because Saquon Barkley's 5'10", 5'11", 220, and then he runs 4.3 in the 40. And I think that's what people don't realize. The New York Giants, as good as they were, or as good as he was with them, he's almost unstoppable behind this offensive line.
Why isn't he the MVP?
Because we live in a society where we have been brainwashed that the game cannot function without the quarterback. Everyone says it over and over. I've heard you say it. The quarterback is the most important position in football. And I get it, it is. But when you look at the MVP, most valuable, it's a subjective definition. And most people lean toward the quarterback. He's the most valuable person on the Eagles team. They aren't where they are now without him. But because the quarterback has been put in our minds as they are the man, it's always going to go to a quarterback unless you have something that's absurd like Adrian Peterson. When Adrian Peterson came back and went for 2,000 yards, it was an athletic marvel. Number one, because he went for 2,000 yards. Number two, because he did it coming off the ACL. So it has to be something like that for a non-quarterback to win the award.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see one in my lifetime.
I don't either.
This was the perfect setup. But what was your reaction when you saw Josh Allen being named MVP?
I thought it was wrong. I think you can make a case that Josh Allen did more with less because Stephon Diggs is gone. He doesn't have a really go-to number one receiver. Amari Cooper really hadn't panned out. You can make a case he did more with less. But if Lamar Jackson won the MVP last year, this year has been probably 1.5 times better than it was last year. I think he wound up with, 4 picks? 4. 3 of them weren't his fault, Dan. We can pull the tape. 3 of them were not his fault. So imagine if he ends a season 40-plus touchdowns in 1 pick that you really can attribute to him. It was unreal. But again, when you have humans voting on this award, we're subjective to feelings. And those feelings are, he's won 2. Well, we got to give Josh 1. Shaq won, or Kobe won how many? How many do we have to give to Shaq? MJ should have won the MVP every year, but he didn't. I mean, we got to give one. LeBron should have won it every year, but we got to give Russell one for the triple-double. Well, he's averaged a triple-double since, and we hadn't even brought his name up. It just goes to show you how us as humans, and I get it, when we vote on awards, our feelings get involved.
Well, sometimes we like it simplified. We like it like that's. I can understand that. Hey, that makes sense that he deserves the MVP. And it's weird that one year it's about stats or another year it's about value.
Yeah.
So I think it was flipped with Josh Allen the previous year and Lamar, as opposed to this year it was about Lamar's stats. And if he wanted to give it to him, great. I was surprised that Josh won.
Who do you think should have won? I wasn't listening to your take. Who do you think should have won?
I thought that Lamar was going to win. But I think Saquon Barkley value changed the Eagles. I don't think they're here without him. And the running back, that story, it's due. If you want to say, hey, that guy deserves it because that guy won it the previous year, how about give it to a running back? And I think that he lost the MVP or made it harder for voters to vote for him because if he breaks the record, if he breaks Dickerson's record, now it's easy for voters to go, well, the Eagles are great, and he broke the record.
Something they can hang their hat on.
Yeah, I'm going to vote for him.
I got you.
It's like Joker with the Nuggets. I had guys who said, well, he didn't do anything in the playoffs. We can't give him MVP.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you crazy? But if that's the litmus test of what you do in the playoffs, Lamar's won 2 and he's not good in the playoffs.
And to your point, if that's the case, shouldn't Joker be the MVP this year?
Yes.
Because SGA, even though SGA statistically is having a phenomenal year, Joker's still averaging a triple-double. To your point.
And he does it in 3 quarters.
Yeah.
The number of triple-doubles in 3 quarters, it just makes it easy. After the Super Bowl, NFL Primetime on ESPN+, it'll be Booger, McFarland, Alex Smith, and Chris Berman. They'll be on the field there following the Super Bowl. How does this play out for Kansas City? If you said, all right, you're Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, let's script how we win this game.
So how you win the game is you have to make, and again, this is going to sound crazy coming off the conversation we just had, you have to make Jalen Hurts beat you. So you have to make the most important player, quote unquote, on your team beat us, meaning the quarterback, because Philly is such a run-dominant team. Hurts is tremendous at what he does.
Didn't you say we need to apologize to Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, absolutely, because of how he played in the championship game. He was phenomenal. If you just look at, because he's been disrespected.
So the media in general.
The media has disrespected this man by saying, okay, his value or what he does, they've diminished it because he's not throwing for 350 yards a game. But if you look at what he's asked to do in the context of their offense, he does it. We are, and I'm guilty of this also. I played in the era where the quarterback looked like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers. He was going to be in a stationary spot, and he was going to pick you apart. That era of quarterback is mostly gone because the high school game, which leads into the college game, which leads into the NFL game, is producing athletic quarterbacks. So they're going to look different. They're going to run. They're going to have 10 to 12 carries a game. They may throw for 225 and rush for 150. And so Jalen Hurts' value to the Eagles is unreal. I felt that there was disrespect because any other quarterback that took a team to the Super Bowl, we would be applauding them. And I felt like he needed his flowers. So now, with all that being said, if I'm Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo, make him beat you throwing the football, because where he's shown to be and he's not bad, but there's some weakness.
Doesn't that prove what people have said? You're saying you got to make the best player, or here, Jalen Hurts beat us.
Correct.
You would never say Patrick Mahomes beat us.
Okay, I'll equate it this way. When Shaq and Kobe were playing, who did you want to beat you? Think about it that way. Two all-time greats, but you had to take one away. Which one were you taking away?
Well, I can't take away Shaq. It's not possible.
Which one did you – people would say you can't let them both go off. You got to take one away.
Yeah.
So it's very similar with the Eagles. Okay, you can't let the entire offense go off. Take Saquon away and take your chances with Hurts to A.J. Brown, Hurts to Devontae Smith. I'm going to take – because the easiest thing to do in football, you could do this right now. You're almost 80 years old, and you could turn around and hand the football off. You could literally take a snap and hand it off. I don't know if you could drop back and deliver passes.
I don't know why you had to take a shot at me.
I didn't take a shot. I mean, you and I are friends. If I had to guess your age, I'm not going to guess 40. People would look at me like, nah, he's not 40.
You're not going to guess 80.
You're closer to, put it like this, you're closer to 80 than 40, I would assume.
That's true.
Well, then I'm right.
I'm a Hall of Famer.
No question.
I'm in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely, and you deserve to be 10 times over. But it still doesn't change the fact you're closer to 80.
You want me to take this zip-up sweatshirt off?
You take it off, you're going to look 80. It doesn't matter.
No. Like this is what ladies come to see.
Which lady, like in plural?
Like shorties.
Are they all family?
No. When I go to the club. When I go to the club.
The club.
And I call it Duck Club.
The club, okay.
Yeah, when I go to Duck Club.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, they walk in, they go, all right, check him out, man. Silver Fox just arrived.
The Silver Fox.
Yeah,
okay.
Silver Fox.
I'm gonna call you the same nickname that we call someone, and I'm not gonna say her name, but I'm gonna call you America's Cougar. All right.
Now, is somebody America's Cougar who works at ESPN?
No, they do not work at ESPN.
Okay, good. Because I don't want you to get in trouble.
No, but I'm gonna put you in the same category.
Okay, I'm like the male Cougar.
Whatever that would be.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I'm a lion. I'm a tiger. I'm a panther.
Oh, you're hilarious, buddy.
Okay. Eli Manning not getting in first ballot.
Correct.
Means what?
Means that the people who are voting on the Hall of Fame, I think, got it right.
Okay.
And I mean, no disrespect to Eli, but I think when you are a first ballot Hall of Famer, I'll give you a prime example. I think years ago, one of the presenters told me this, that they presented, I think it was Joe Montana. And back then, you used to be in a room here at the Super Bowl. You get 15 minutes to present your guy. Whoever was presenting Joe Montana stood up. Joe Montana, and sat back down. Didn't have to say a word.
Yeah.
That's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
I agree.
If you have to stand up and plead your case and convince somebody, then you're not. Doesn't mean that you eventually won't get in. It just doesn't mean you don't deserve to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And I think that's where we are with Eli Manning. And it's a hot topic because of his last name, because of where he played, because of who he is.
And we're in New Orleans.
But I think if you honestly sit back and look at it, do you put him in the same category as Joe and Peyton and Tom Brady? I don't think so.
No, you need to have different floors or, for your Hall of Famers.
Well, then
And a different color jacket if you're a first ballot.
no,
Hall of
I'm
Fame.
not.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not going to do that.
No, it sparks conversation.
Okay, but why would you? You just told me you're in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Would you want a different color jacket?
Yes, I would.
No, I see. I think you're not being genuine.
I'm
now.
Dan Montana.
I'm not
Dan
even gonna
Marino. He's Booger McFarland.
Oh,
Chris Berman, Hall of Famer, by the way.
no question.
Yeah.
He'll tell you too. That's why I love everybody. That's my guy. That's my guy. I love him to death. That's my guy.
Immediately after the Super Bowl, NFL primetime on ESPN Plus, it'll be Booger, Alex Smith, Chris Berman, live from the Superdome. Great to see you.
Always, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you for always being available during the year. We
Hey,
appreciate
man,
it.
I love you guys, man. But more important, I love the crew. Like the crew is the most important part of this. And I think you would say this, that your crew with you and the people that surround this show really make it go.
I mean, I wouldn't say that, but others might say that.
Well, I'm going to say that because I understand they make you look good.
Yeah.
And you being a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Hopefully you appreciate that.
Yes.
Just a quick update. Just a quick Google. The male version of a cougar I'm seeing is a manther. So you would be a
Manther?
A manther. Yeah.
There you go.
Dan the manther.
A manther.
Dan the Manther.
You are a
Yes.
manther.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, we'll take a break. I think we need to all settle down just a little bit. We need to cool off here a little bit. Yeah. Take
White
off
Manther.
all my clothes. Okay. We're back after this in the Dan Patrick Show.
Oh, wow.